Hey, welcome to Lake to Lake. I'm Chuck, where we do news, reviews, and how-tos. And now I'm going to report on a scam that I just about got taken for. I got a call from a company, said they were representing my credit cards on behalf of my bank. And after introduction, they identified themselves, they identified their company, they gave me their employee ID number, they gave me their callback number, and they asked me if I'd applied for a credit card while traveling. And I thought about that. You know, we do a lot of traveling. We do a lot of RV camping and traveling throughout the Midwest. But I do have a son that lives in Kentucky, and I occasionally go out and visit him. And then we do travel. We go to Disneyland, and we go to Nashville and Las Vegas. And so, you know, thinking about it, I thought, well, you know, I was traveling, but I never applied for any credit cards. So I said no. So then at that point, they asked me if I wanted them to cancel this card on my behalf that had just been opened. Of course, I said yes. So now, unfortunately, they're starting to gain a little bit of my trust. You know, we're having a conversation. I think they're truly working on my behalf. And then they start talking to me about my bank and the couple credit cards I have with my bank. Now, as they start into this, they say, you have these two credit cards. You have no balance on this one and a little bitty balance on this one. And they tell me the credit card numbers. They tell me the expiration dates, and then they proceed. They explain to me that they give me my full name. They give me my social security number. They know my age. They know where I live. And I'm thinking to myself, well, you know, this might be legit. And then they ask me questions, the same questions over and over about these two credit cards. We don't use credit cards very much. I mean, we use them to buy airplane tickets because we get points, and sometimes when we're out traveling to buy gas, because I mean, especially going on a trip, you know, you buy in a diesel truck, you buy $300 or $400 worth of gas. You know, you can get $20-$30 worth of credit or rewards. And then they would go back and they'd ask me questions about the credit card. When's the last time I used it? The expiration date? We have it down as the expiration date is this. And then they pointed out one of my, we have a card with Southwest Airlines, and they asked me a couple questions about Southwest, and we don't, they owe us money, so I didn't really care about that one, or, you know. And then they went back to this credit application that had been filled out while I was traveling. And at this point in time, it seemed like there were a series of 10 or 15 base questions that as they'd go down a rabbit, they'd go down one path, they'd come back and they'd start asking these questions about our credit cards and my bank account. And so as they can kind of tell I'm starting to get a little bit frustrated, they say, well, here, we need to put on my supervisor, and we're going to get the supervisor on here so we can get the process started to cancel that credit card application that's been that you opened. I said, oh, wait a minute, I didn't open it. And she says, well, it's somebody else opened. So they get the supervisor on. As I said, hey, we went over all this with the person before you. Why do we have to keep going over this over and over and over? And the supervisor says, well, we got different computer systems, and I have to manually log all this in. And being from the IT world, I kind of realize that any sophisticated system, you only want to enter it once because it costs you money to do data entry. So that was, besides the repetitive nature of all the questions going over and over and over, that started to ring a bell. And as I said, I'd already logged on and locked my credit cards. Well, and I haven't said anything to them. I just locked them, even when they weren't talking to me about. So I got the credit cards locked. So then the supervisor says, okay, well, I need to put you in touch with an officer, one of our officers here, and this person is going to write up the report to get that card canceled that you had applied for. I said, well, okay. I said, why do we need an officer? Well, because this person says, well, it's a police report, and we get to fill out an official police report because this was fraud, and we get to fill out the police report so we can get the application canceled. Wait for the officer to get online. The supervisor pops back on and says, hey, sorry, the officer's busy. They're going to have to call you back in about 5 minutes. I said, okay. So during the 5-minute break, I log on to the company they told me. No sign of them. It was called Credit Card Assurance Services. Credit Card Assurance Services. They don't show up anywhere. They don't show up on the Googles. They don't show up on Microsoft's. And I can't find them anywhere in the Googles. I take the number that they had called me at, and the callback number that they gave me. I call them during this, waiting for the officer to call me back. Nothing. Nobody picks up the phone. No answer. So now I'm really concerned. I mean, I really think that somebody knows a lot about me and they're trying to get something. And maybe I accidentally told them something they wanted to know. I don't know. I don't think I did because they always told me. So then the officer calls me back. I get on the phone with the officer and we start going down the same thing. That somebody opened a credit card in my name, gives me his name, his number, his employee number, and he says, now in order to get this credit card canceled, I'm going to have to put a hard freeze on your credit report. And we're going to go ahead and cancel out all your credit cards, and we're going to wipe the balances out to zero so you don't have to pay anything on them. And I said, whoa, wait a minute. Something's wrong here. This is not what I wanted. This is not what I want to do. You know, the little bit of money I owe on credit cards, I'm responsible. I want to pay the $400 or $500 I owe because I owe it. I don't want you wiping it out. And he goes, no, we can wipe out $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. I said, I don't have that much credit card debt. And he tells me, he goes, well, it doesn't make any difference. We'll wipe him out. We'll call them fraudulent charges. I said, no, wait a minute. They weren't fraudulent. Those were actually my charges. I said, the one I want you to wipe out is the one that was opened that I did not know about when I was traveling. And so he says, no. He says, you don't understand. We'll put a hard freeze on it. He said, you won't be able to get any credit in your name for 9 months. He said, you won't be able to borrow. He said, nobody will be able to buy a car in your name. Nobody will be able to open up a credit card in your name. We're going to wipe out all your credit cards. You won't have any credit cards. And he said, you'll be safe for 9 months. There's absolutely no way anybody will be able to steal your identity and open up any credit cards or charge anything to you because it'll be impossible. At that point in time, I said no. Well, now this spans about 45 minutes of time. So my wife is listening. She comes in, and I said, no, don't do anything. I don't want any of your services, and I got a witness who's listening to this conversation, and I have your phone numbers written down. And if push comes to shove, I'm going to turn you over to the authorities. And he kept going over all these benefits from not having, about wiping out all my debt. I wouldn't have to make any payments. And I said, I don't have any payments hardly to wipe out anyway. So I was bound and determined I was not going to hang up on him. I wanted him to hang up on me. I have no idea why, but it just seemed like the right thing to do. So he keeps pounding and hassling me and saying, hey, we have your Social Security number. We have all the information we need. It's really easy to take care of all this. He says, we'll do it all behind the scenes. You don't have to be on the phone. I said, no deal. Cancel. No, I don't want any services. Do not want any services from you at all. Period. None. So finally he gets frustrated and he hangs up. And then so I go and I get dressed up a little bit and I go to my bank. I tell my bank what's going on, what happened. And so they, of course, banks, you can't do anything in a local branch. You got to call somebody. I call security. And security says, okay, start from the beginning. So we start great wide. I mean, the very beginning. And we kind of funnel down till they get to get to exactly the part that they're looking for. So they documented everything on my behalf. And I said, well, what do we do? And the security person says, well, he said, we're just going to issue you new credit card with different credit card numbers. And I said, well, what about the person that has all my information? Says, well, he said, to be truthful with you, almost everybody's information is out there on the internet. And you just got to be proactive in protecting yourself. The way you protect yourself in this case is we issue you all new credit card numbers. So I learned a very valuable lesson. Next time somebody calls up and says, I'm calling on behalf of your service, on your credit card services, I'm hanging up. I ain't talking to them. Even if they give me my name, address, phone number, social security number, birth, wife's name, kid's name, car that I have, I don't care. I'm hanging up on them. And the bank said they really can't do anything about it. They just document this, and if they get enough scams like this coming their way that in their system, they'll put out a security bulletin to their banks. And she said there's nothing we can really do. So, long story short, be careful when they call. They sounded so good. They had so much information. They sounded like they were really trying to help me out. But in the end, the old something's up meter went off, and I knew that I could not keep going. I knew that it was a scam. I don't know what they were scamming for. I don't think I ever got to that point. But I talked to 3 people and the same information over and over and over with a little bit of small talk in between, trying to gather my trust, I'm assuming, to give them the information that they needed to do whatever they were going to do. So anyway, that's my story. I changed my credit card numbers, and I got new credit cards in the mail, and I activated them and then locked them. So the one piece of advice I would say, you can unlock them if you have the app and you have the right bank. You can lock them and unlock them from your phone. I would lock them, and when you get ready to use them, I would unlock them, and then after I'm done using them, I'd lock them back up, based on my experience. So anyway, that's my story. Tell me how my audio is, guys. I've had some people kind of complain about it. Is it good? Is my audio good? Bad? Could be better? I'm making these videos, and I don't want bad audio. So anyway, if you like what you heard, give me a thumbs up, please. If you want to hear more content like this, please subscribe to the channel. And until we meet around the campfire, you all take care now. Bye-bye.